Thank you for listening to the Yoga Therapy Hour podcast. The episode that you have chosen is no longer available on this platform. If you go to the show notes, you'll see that we now have a Patreon page. You can find the link in the show notes. And by going to Patreon, you will have full access to all of the audio files from season 1, 2, and beyond. We appreciate your support on Patreon. It will allow us to bring you more content in audio, video, and written form, as we hope to expand into transcripts for each and every episode. We appreciate you, and we're so happy that you're willing to support us. Thank you so much. What does licensure actually mean? How do we get it nationally or state by state or internationally? And just kind of walk us through that, because so many people wonder why we can't just jump to that step tomorrow.
Yeah. It's a really complicated step. So certification is, again, it's that self-governance of our own profession. Right? We have said we have something that's overseeing ourselves. But when you get into licensure, it's pretty complicated in many layers. So one of the things is that, just as you mentioned, it's decided upon state by state, country by country. So you have to have a lot more input, and the process of it is different state by state. We'll just use the state of California, for example. In the state of California, if you want to go for licensure of a new profession, you have to have a existing profession sponsor you, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a thing. Then you have to, go through the sunrise process of applying that this profession thinks you are so valuable that will take you under your wing until they open it up for licensure, right, within your state.
So does that mean yoga therapy? Let's say that the American Medical Association in California chapter said, we love yoga therapy. Does that mean we would actually be operating under them for a period of time before they kicked us out of the nest and we went off on our own?
That is correct.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
And each state would have to find an existing organization to host.
Well, I don't know if that's done in each state.
Okay.
It's different for each state. The scope of practice can be defined by each state, right? So I'll use the example, I'm a chiropractor, and Washington State has a very strict scope of practice for chiropractors. Very strict. Manual manipulation is just about all you can do. But go across the border to the state of Oregon, who has one of the most liberal scopes of practice. We have the ability to be primary involvement in childbirth. So it's just, so what do you do, right? When I went to chiropractic school to an accredited program that had this baseline, one of the things we did not learn was minor surgery and delivering babies. So when I wanted to take the Oregon State board exam, I had to go to Oregon and take these courses, because if I got my license there under the scope of practice, I could do those things. It's really complicated to get licensure, and it has to be strategically and systematically thought out. And we're an international organization, right? So we have to look at it internationally as well. Going back to chiropractic, there are many countries where there's no license for chiropractic, right? You're considered practicing medicine without a license. So it's a very convoluted process with no organized rules, right? So you have to really look at this like a worldwide thing, and how are we going to tackle that, right?
I was just going to say that a small nonprofit organization like IAYT with maybe 6,000 members, like how do you even decide, okay, we're going to do it in California and the rest of you states, like what? It's like an elephant and trying to eat an elephant. Like where would you even start to bite,
Yeah. Well, you know, those low-lying fruit, but we also have to make the decision if licensure is actually what has to happen. We do have models to look at. If we would look at professions such as art therapy, music therapy, dance therapy, and look at those models versus looking at PT, OT models, right? We might glean some more information that is licensure really what we need. Or
and so you're saying like dance therapy, music therapy, they're operating, they're getting paid by third parties. They're doing all the things we want to do, but they haven't actually become a licensed profession. But that doesn't mean that great things aren't happening there in hospitals, right. Hey, did you know that each week on the podcast, we give you a free infographic that you can use with your clients, your students, or for your own personal studies? So check out the show notes. There's a link on where you can sign up. And not only will we send you the infographic from this week, but if there's a topic that's similar in the future, we'll also put you on that list. And we'll never sell your data or send you things that you haven't asked for. Please share the episode with a friend or colleague. We're so grateful you're willing to share. Feel free to continue these conversations on our private Facebook group called Yoga Therapy Hour Podcast with Amy Wheeler. Remember, we have a mobile app coming out May 2nd, 2022 that tracks mental health and so much more using the foundations of yoga and Ayurveda. The Gold Zone ebook is coming out May 2nd, 2022. This book will help you to create more joy, freedom, meaning and purpose in life, and find deeper connections to yourself and others. Our goal is to help you feel less anxiety, less depression, less chronic pain, less insomnia. And I think you'll find this pair, both the book and the new app, will help you do just that.